Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Kunja Vihari Gopi Kanavallabha Giridharidhari Gopi Kanavallabha Giridharidhari Yashodanandana Brajanana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajanana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Jaya Gopi Kanavallabha Giridharidhari Jaya Gopi Kanavallabha Giridharidhari Jaya Gopi Kanavallabha Giridharidhari Jaya Gopi Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Kanavallabha Giridharidhari Jaya Gopi So Brajadananda Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadananda Yamurtira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jayo Vishabham Sabhadaraj Jai Stu Desat Sisimat AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayo Vishnubham Sabhadaraj Jai Stu Desat Sisimat Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Skan 50th Anniversary Ki Go Premanande Om Jnanacharanandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today let us begin speaking about Lord Chaitanya's tour of South India. We should not think that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was physically manifest, was simply dealing with the local area, so to speak, that you would normally confine someone to in their travels. Especially, Lord Chaitanya was walking. So you might think that, well, he's affecting a certain area around the footpath that he traversed. No. Lord Chaitanya, first of all, covered all of South India. How did he do that? Wherever he would go, someone, of course, would cross his path. And just by looking at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they threw their hands up in the air and began to dance, chanting Hare Krishna. But things didn't end there. That person would go off, and then someone else would see that person and throw their hands up in the air and start chanting Hare Krishna and dancing. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set off a chain reaction throughout all the villages. But not just South India, not even just India. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was touring, demigods would come disguised as human beings. They would come from the upper planetary system to get the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Even Brahma, Shiva, they would come disguised to talk with Lord Chaitanya. So in that way, simply by, in case you wondered, how it is that Lord Chaitanya affects the whole universe, simply by his apparently just walking through India, especially South India, he inundated the whole universe with the love of Krishna. So we want you to get the full national and then international, the global perspective on the effect of Lord Chaitanya, and then beyond that, the cosmological effect. This is beyond our sense perception. One surprising point for those of you who are familiar with Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And how can you not be familiar with Lord Chaitanya's pastimes? It's very difficult to understand Krishna without understanding Lord Chaitanya. Krishna's pastimes can be a bit bewildering. But when you approach Krishna through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it becomes very easy to understand Krishna. So some of you may wonder, why in India especially there's so much confusion about Krishna? Even though so many people will say, I know him, Krishna, I know. I know. But when you listen to their description of Krishna, you understand, they totally don't know. So what's causing this situation in which in the land of Krishna, there is so much confusion about Krishna? What's causing this phenomenon? The problem is they are trying to talk about Krishna and understand Krishna without going through Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this age of Kali, it's very difficult to understand the truth, the tattva about Krishna's activities. He says in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, you know, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvata. He says, if you can understand the scientific truth about my janma, how I seem to take birth, but actually don't take birth, even though we celebrate Janmashtami, Sri Krishna Janmashtami, actually Krishna is birthless. Of course, you are also birthless as spirit soul. But Krishna enacts the pastime of taking birth. And karma, his activities, are not forced by material nature. All the things that Krishna does, from apparently inciting the battle of Kurukshetra, to dancing with his consorts, to killing so many asuras, demons, these are not affairs of the material energy. There's no destiny pushing them. There's no force of karma. So Krishna assures you, if you can understand the tattva, the scientific reality of his appearance in this world and his activities, then upon giving up the present body, you don't take another body. So our motivation in life, our mission is to how to understand Krishna in truth. If you want to love someone, you take an active interest in that person. What makes them tick? Why do they do the things that they do? What do they like? What do they dislike? Yes, those of you who have entered into relationships in whatever way, you're supposed to be concerned with what the other person wants and how that person perceives things, and you're supposed to get in tune with that. We are seeking love in the material world because love is the ultimate reality. But that ultimate reality of love is not present in the material world. It's here in the material world in a perverted, distorted way. So you can just see yourself trying to reach into the material atmosphere and grab a drop of love here, a speck of love there. And such hard work is required just to get that speck. There is a speck there, it's true. But you need oceans of love. Therefore you need to turn to the ocean of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, and then you can get the ocean of Krishna. They're the same. Lord Chaitanya is not an avatar of Krishna. Loosely speaking, we may say that. You know, the golden avatar, Namo Mahavadanyavatar, Krishna Prema Pradayate, most magnanimous avatar. Generally speaking, you can say that. But if you want to be scientifically precise, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the original personality of Godhead, and so is Krishna. They coexist simultaneously. Lord Chaitanya is not a plenary expansion of Krishna. He's not an avatar. He's not a manifestation of Krishna. The two coexist eternally. How is that? When Krishna wants to taste feelings of separation, viraha bhava, he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to taste what it's like to be the supreme enjoyer, he appears as Krishna. So it's a double reality. Just like Mayapur and Vrindavan, Navadvip Dham, Vrindavan Dham, they're double realities. As you advance in bhakti more and more, you get to see this double vision. It's not that Krishna replaces Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replaces Krishna. The more you advance in bhakti, especially if you take part in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan mission, the more you develop this double vision. You see Navadvip Dham and Vrindavan Dham as one and the same. Not in spiritual variety, but in terms of there's no difference. And whenever you hear Chaitanya Leela, you can also hear Krishna Leela. That both are going on simultaneously. They both exist simultaneously. How to enjoy Krishna's enjoyment. First, we have to understand what is Krishna's enjoyment. Krishna's enjoyment is very difficult to understand because he simply enjoys his internal potency. He never enjoys anything material. So our confusion is in understanding Krishna's internal potency, how it operates. Krishna himself is bewildered by his own internal potency to the extent that he can't understand its depths, how unlimitedly attractive it is. So Krishna himself wonders about his potency for enjoyment, especially since that potency of Krishna's enjoyment manifests eternally as Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is always wondering about this Mohini, his female counterpart that's always bewildering with unlimited attractiveness. So how is Krishna going to understand his internal potency? How is he going to understand what's it like to be his internal potency? There's only one way. He takes the position of his internal potency. He takes the position of Srimati Radharani. And to do that, he can't do it as Krishna. So he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that capacity, Krishna as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing what is it like to be the enjoyed. What's it like to love Krishna? Krishna is so unlimitedly attractive, he wants to know, what's it like to love me? You ever thought that? I always remember, perhaps you've heard me mention it before, one famous Hollywood movie star, before he was in an auto accident and unfortunately got paralyzed from neck down. He felt he was so handsome that he told the media, you know, I could date myself. I'm so beautiful. I'm so handsome. That was before he fell off a horse and was unfortunately paralyzed. So, Krishna can actually, he's entitled to wonder, well, what's it like to love me? What's it like to be attracted to me? So he solves that riddle by coming as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna in the role of his own devotee. And in the position of Srimati Radharani, he tries to love Krishna, especially through feelings of separation. But not only does Krishna come as Lord Chaitanya to relish the feelings of separation from Krishna, but he also wants to distribute that flavor far and wide. when Lord Chaitanya was touring South India, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur describes that he was actually not trying to convert anyone. He was not persuading anyone. Generally speaking, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not convert, did not persuade, generally speaking. What was he doing then? He was, Srila Saraswati Thakur describes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was just gushing with Krishna praying, just sending waves everywhere. No converting, just drowning everyone. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks us to be persuasive, to convert. That's his order. You can see that when Lord Chaitanya was meeting up at Kurmakshetra with one Brahmana. And the Vedic culture is that whenever you see a traveling mendicant, the householder invites him for lunch. And the wandering mendicant never takes lunch in the same place more than a few days because he doesn't want to burden the families. So this householder, known as a Kurma Brahmana, he extended an invitation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please come to my house for lunch. That's how wandering mendicants would eat back then. Even at the beginning of the 20th century, Srila Prabhupada describes how his father would always, before eating, go to the front door and see anyone who looked like a mendicant, Babaji, wearing saffron, come eat. So Srila Prabhupada describes that even at the beginning of the 20th century, when it was dinner time, there'd be not less than 6 guests there. All kinds of mendicants, Babajis, saffronites. But Prabhupada, as a young child, noted 5 out of 6 of them are bogus. They're just putting on the dress, the saffron, just to get a good meal. So, still, his father, a pure devotee of Krishna, was doing the proper culture, the proper etiquette. So this householder invited Lord Chaitanya for lunch, and first he washed Lord Chaitanya's feet, and the whole family drank the water. They offered puja to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The respect given to a mendicant. Vedic culture is very respectful and very conscious of seniority and spiritual status. After doing all that, the Brahmana began to speak to Lord Chaitanya. In my home now are the feet that even Lord Brahma meditates on. In other words, he was aware of the identity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna. In my home now are the same feet that Adikavi, Lord Brahma, worships. Because of your presence, he told Lord Chaitanya, everything about my life is successful. Janma Kula Dhana. My birth is successful. My family life is successful. All my family relations are successful. My wealth, whatever riches I have, they're all successful because you are in my home. This is real family life. He considers that all the aspects of his grihastha life are successful because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in his house. He was not a selfish householder. Everything for me, but I'll drop a few coins in the hundi on Sunday. No. He wanted and managed and arranged that his home was fully centered on Krishna. Still, though, he wanted to get out. He told Lord Chaitanya, I can no longer tolerate the waves of the material energy, the Vishaya Toranga. Get me out of here. Let me go with you. It's true that in Vedic culture, by the time you're 50, you can retire from household life. That's assuming the man marries at 25, latest, and has children. So by the time he's 50, he's got a grown-up son. And so that son can take care of the wife and the other, and his siblings. And the man can start retiring, preparing for their now stored life. So evidently this householder, the Kurma Brahmana, thought that I've done my dash, so to speak. I've executed my responsibilities. I want out. Please, Mahaprabhu, take me with you. Too much, these household affairs. Decade after decade, business. Even though he's a Brahmana still, you have to maintain in some kind of way. Wife, children, too much, house. Take me with you. I can't take it any longer. Enough is enough. And what did Lord Chaitanya tell him? Don't speak like this again. What? Mahaprabhu, the supreme sannyasi, Nyasi Shiromani, the crest jewel of the renounced order, he's saying, don't speak like that again. You stay here. You stay at home. You make your home Krishna conscious. Now, what does it mean to make the home Krishna conscious? Does it mean you just stay at home and do home puja and, okay, hear and chant with your family members? No. Lord Chaitanya had much more in mind than that. And this is very important for you all to understand. Stay at home, hear and chant among your family members, and Yare Deko Tareko Krishna Upadesh. Ama Agya Guru Hoya Tare Desh. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, teach the science of Krishna on my order. Teach what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Teach what Srimad Bhagavatam says. So in other words, Lord Chaitanya was not saying, stay at home within your four walls, and that's it. No. Use your home as a base for educating others in bhakti. Go out from your home, and whoever you meet, wherever you go, teach, distribute. Invite people to your house and go out from your house. That was Lord Chaitanya's order. And he further magnified that order by saying, if you do this, the material energy will never touch you. All the materialistic pressures of household life will not capsize you if you do this. What's more, if you do this, we will meet again. You can't come with me, but we will meet again. Actually, though, if you do this, I'll always be with you. So what do you think about that? Don't we want the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with us always? This is the way. Be a householder, that's all right. Lord Chaitanya was implying to this Brahmana, it's not recommended in the age of Kali to leave home. And if your home is Krishna conscious, why leave it? If you're using your home as an outreach base to distribute bhakti, why leave it? So that's why Lord Chaitanya told him, don't speak like this again. So this is very important, because as we said, the leader, the supreme leader of all the sannyasis is telling him, don't leave home. Instead, distribute Krishna consciousness, knowledge of Krishna. And you'll always be in the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's telling him, you can't come with me physically, but there's a way you can always be with me that's even more intense. than physical Sangha. So please think about this. Now, this order that Lord Chaitanya gave him, Amma Agya, on my order, is very special. It is the same thing as Krishna saying, Sarva Dharma Prityaja, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Krishna comes, as you know, at the end of the Gita, and says, abandon all your conceptions of Dharma, Kula Dharma, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma. Beyond all those conceptions of external Dharma is the real Dharma of surrender to Krishna. That's what Krishna says. That same Krishna, the original personality Godhead, Adi Purusha, comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's also Adi Purusha, and says, wherever you go, whoever you meet, teach the science of Krishna. It's the same thing. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, they emphasize Lord Chaitanya's request to the Kurma Brahmana is the same as Krishna's request at the end of Bhagavad Gita. So you're thinking, oh, how do we surrender to Krishna? What do I have to give up? I don't want to give up too much. Take to the instruction of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who says, distribute Krishna consciousness near and far. That is surrender to Krishna. So the more that we increase that surrender to Krishna, the more we actually know what success is, the more we actually know what real riches are, the more we know what is real prosperity. Some of you may be wondering, how can I surrender to Krishna? What does Krishna want? Haven't I given enough? I make a monthly donation to the new temple fund. Isn't that enough? Krishna, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wants you to be a distributor of Krishna's glories, Krishna's instructions. And in that way, you're doing the easiest way, the easiest method for surrender to Krishna. So please think about that. This carrying out the order of Lord Chaitanya is a chance for everyone to be a hero. You may wonder, how can you be a bhakti hero? Does it depend on your gender, or do you have to wear saffron? Can the women become bhakti heroes? Can the elderly become bhakti heroes? Can the children become bhakti heroes? What do you think? Yes! Simply take up Lord Chaitanya's order, the order of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, teach the science of Krishna. You become a hero. You attract Krishna's attention. That's what's missing in our life, Krishna's attention. You ever tried to catch someone's attention? You've done it, right? You try to catch your mother's attention, yes? Because you want something, right? Some new toys or something, yes? We're always trying to catch someone's attention, but here is the way to catch the Supreme Personality of Godhead's attention. And then you become recognized by Krishna. That is no ordinary thing. What better use can we have for this short life? Is the credit in life simply, oh, I struggled in Sydney for many decades, and then I retired? Is that it? I left a home for my children to inherit. That's it? That's our heroism? No. A real hero has captured Krishna's attention. Whether you are rich or poor, sick or healthy, how to capture Krishna's glance of favor upon us. We want that Krishna certifies us. This devotee has tried to do something for me. So you might be thinking, well, but what can I do? I'm working, I have a home to pay for, I have children to educate. How can I attract Krishna's attention? You have a husband, you have a wife, you have a mother, you have a mother-in-law. Very popular person in Indian homes. So how to capture Krishna's attention? Lord Chaitanya gives you the easy way. Yes, just by getting some books, getting Srila Prabhupada's books, and distributing them. Really? Is it that simple? Yes. And the more you partake in that activity, the more you will feel that you're swimming in the ocean, the Mahamrita, the great ocean of transcendental nectar. Because the books are not different from Krishna. That you can experience. It's not just some kind of theological concept that we're presenting to you. The books are not different from Krishna. Repeat after me. You have to mark this down on the disciple course. It's not like that. It's a transcendental reality. So what we're talking about today is transcendental experience. We want you all to become heroes in that experience. The more that you distribute this literature according to your capacity, the more you feel Krishna's reciprocation with you. Your efforts to distribute the literature are following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya's walking throughout India, especially South India. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so simply whoever looks at him erupts in love of Krishna. We carry the books, and whoever takes those books gets a connection to Krishna. Remember Srila Prabhupada explaining in Melbourne that if someone takes from you one of his books in their hand, looks at it, says, oh, nice, very interesting, and then hands it back to you without buying, still that person, because of that drop of appreciation, automatically gets a human form of life. Which is very rare to get again in this dense darkness of the age of Kali. So by approaching people and handing them a book, you're changing their whole karma. And you can see, sometimes they become so excited by getting the books that you start to think yourself, hey, maybe I ought to read this again. Yes, it's happened, yeah? That's one of the great rewards, one of the many great rewards of book distribution. You start to realize, hey, actually, people want these books. Maybe I should read them also. As Srila Prabhupada always emphasized, these books are not simply for distributing, they're for reading. He always said, I'm writing these books mainly for the devotees. So we need an ambitious program for reading Prabhupada's books and distributing them. Both aspects go together. The motto I like to give to devotees is, love to read them, love to distribute them. That should be our life. This is the quick way how to be recognized by Krishna. Now let's consider things from another angle. Let's consider Prahlad Maharaj, 5 years old. How old are you? 9. You're almost twice as old as Prahlad was. when he offered his famous prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. Prahlad said, I'm not afraid of material existence. Naimvodvijay Puradaratte Avaitaranyas. Material existence doesn't bother me. Why? Tadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chitta. I'm always swimming, diving, splashing in the nectarian ocean of Krishna's glories. I'm chanting those glories and I'm distributing those glories. Do I have any problems? Personally, I've got no problems for myself, but I have a problem with others. What is that problem Prahlad has with others? He doesn't get along with others? No. Shochetatovamukhachetasa indriyartha. I'm simply lamenting for all the fools who are laboring, struggling under false burdens, unnecessary burdens. Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudan. Now it's bad enough to struggle under a real burden, but to struggle under a false imaginary burden? But that's what material existence is all about. You create unnecessary duties for yourself. You assume unnecessary burdens. And then you say, oh, I'm so busy. I have so many problems. I have so many responsibilities. No time. I don't have any time for bhakti. No time for serving Lord Chaitanya. You don't understand. I have so many weighty things pressing down on me. But Prahlad, at 5 years old, in his prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev, he's pointing out, you've created unnecessary burdens. They're not actually there. And you'll see that if you engage in distributing Krishna's glories. Then you'll get the vision to see you've created a whole network, a whole spider's web of intricately unnecessary burdens. But you can't do that ordinarily. Do we think that Maya is going to give us insight? Is that the job of illusory energy? Come, my dear Jiva, I will let you see how things are operating. No way. Maya's purpose is to blind you, to cover your vision, so that you never understand what's going on. You never know what hit you. You never know the dynamics of illusion. But if you participate in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission, you get the vision to see how Maya is cheating you and cheating others. When I first began my book distribution career, I was just a 3-week devotee. That's the way it was back then. Immediately out on the front lines. No one asked, oh, you just graduated from Yale University? No one asked. You're living the devil? Oh, out the door you go. Of course, we are much more mature these days about it. So please understand that. But this is back 44 years ago when ISKCON was very new and Prabhupada was the only adult in the movement. And the mantra then was, never trust anyone over 30. We never thought that we'd become more than 30. So, I remember when I was making my first effort to distribute Prabhupada's books, one older devotee back then meant you were a devotee for 4 years. You were a senior Vaishnava. So one older lady devotee told me, you know, when you go out on Sankirtan, you get special Sankirtan vision. It's like special television. You can see the world completely differently. So I thought, wow, okay, that sounds really interesting. I gotta check that out. And I found it to be true. You see the whole material energy working. You see people floating in that material energy. You get the special like goggles, you can see actually what's going on. how they're pursuing temporary happiness, how they're working so hard for the flavor of something so insubstantial. You get to see all that. And in that way, your spiritual realization increases. So we don't want closet Krishna devotees. We want everyone to come out. Out yourself. Come out in the open. It's very popular these days for persons of various bodily persuasions and bodily identifications to come out. Out yourself. And in the media they refer to, such and such came out. Yes, we also want to come out. We want to come out as active servants of Lord Chaitanya. So, yes, you're working, most of you, families. That's okay. Invest a little time. And remember Lord Chaitanya's instruction, wherever you go, whomever you meet. Everyone's meeting someone. You may be worried. What if, while I'm out distributing Prabhupada's books, I meet someone from my workplace? You just tell them, this is my volunteer charity work. I do it in my spare time. I'm distributing knowledge of yoga and meditation, stress reduction. They go, okay. It's easy to explain why you're doing what you're doing. I'm volunteering for charity. I'm a holistic person. I'm not simply living for myself. I have my work life. Yes, that's the main thing, but I also volunteer sometime. Oh, okay, very nice. Some people volunteer for the Red Cross or this or that, the other. This is what I volunteer for. Okay. So there's no need to fear. Amazingly, the Sydney Temple has become famous for being a chakra of book distribution after many decades. So we thank the management here. We thank all those responsible for putting Sydney solidly on the map for Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan mission. It's a long time coming, but it's happened. But there's no limit. For a while, your goal was to beat New Zealand. They were the champions for 20 years. But, come on. You gotta have a higher goal than that. There's more people in the Sydney metropolitan area than there is in the whole country of New Zealand. So it was a good temporary goal to get you going, It was like, I guess, the India cricket team saying, we gotta beat Bangladesh. That's a big deal. But now, if you say the India cricket team has to beat Australia, So simply, all right, you surpassed New Zealand. They can't keep up with you. They don't have enough population there. So now, who is going to be your target? LA, Russia, Ukraine. Yes. There is no material limit. Don't think that you've reached the plateau. Yes, we have some full-time distributors, the brahmacharis, but that doesn't mean that they are monopolizing all the nectar. If everyone contributes their little bit, it becomes huge in total. And that's how to really increase. If everyone plays a role. Everyone get some books and pass them out this way, that way. There's unlimited scope for that. And soon you'll get the intelligence. How not only to distribute one book, but whole sets of books. You have to start somewhere though. Once you taste this thrill, you can never give it up. Then you are following Lord Chaitanya's order. And particularly, in terms of geography, Lord Chaitanya said, whoever takes their birth in the land of India has a special duty to make their life perfect and teach others how to do the same. So this book distribution gives everyone a chance how to follow Lord Chaitanya's order and capture Lord Chaitanya's attention. That means capturing Krishna's attention. So please start making plans. Use your marketing brains, your IT brains, your strategic planning brains. Don't just save all that for the corporate world, please. Use your education, use your skills, use your knowledge, your job experience for increasing the book distribution. Come up with all kinds of angles, all kinds of methodologies. We'd like everyone to get a copy of the book distribution manual by His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, Our Family Business. Certain families have a business. They pass down from generation to generation. So as followers of Srila Prabhupada, our family business is the book distribution. And there's so many ways you can do it. It's not simply you have to do it like the brahmacharis do it. Be creative, be inventive. See what others are doing and come up with newer ways yourself. This is the fun in life. So we want to see a doubling of the effort here. The giant has awakened. The giant is starting to walk, but we want the giant to run. And this will be your heroism. This will be how to attract Krishna's attention. Remember Prahlad Maharaj's words. I don't have a problem with material existence because I'm always absorbed in chanting and distributing Krishna's glories. If I do have a problem, it's because I can't stand to see the suffering of the conditioned souls. How they have struggled under, how they're struggling under self-created burdens, which they take as all in all, so important. So if you want to see your temple community explode with vitality, explode with dynamics, then you take to this order of Lord Chaitanya. Then you'll see your bhakti community change from being a list of members to a list of active participants. And you'll see the blessings of Lord Chaitanya shower upon the entire community of devotees. Activists for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And certainly every one of you should have a full set of Srila Prabhupada's books at home. What is a home for without a full set? Remember, love to read the books, love to distribute the books. This is how to effectively carry out Lord Chaitanya's order in this day and age. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful inspirational class, and thanks for all the inspiration that you've given us in guidance of book distribution as well. Just to say what's happening from the beginning of the year, we've been going to all Bhakti Vikshas and presenting that how book distribution can be really useful in spreading Prabhupada's mission, and a lot of devotees have actually taken up book distribution in the congregation. And as you said, the giant has started to move now, so we just have to make it run. Actually, about 53 devotees are actually kind of involved in book distribution from the beginning of the year, and we've also gone to a lot of festivals and Katumba, Winter Festival and Blackdown Parade, and we've distributed a lot of books just from the congregational side. So, as I said, there are about 53 devotees who are involved, but today we would like to recognize some of the people who actually excelled in actually doing that service. For some of them, it's been new to service. For some of them, apart from their other service they do, they've taken up book distribution as another service, which is creditable, depending on how many other involvements they've had. So, I would request everybody to take Maharaj's words and do your bit, so that if you do a small bit, then it actually, in the whole team, it actually increases the scores to a very big number. And hopefully one day the congregational team can actually beat the Brahmacharis team. So that's the goal, that's the dream. So without much delay, I don't want to take much time, because I have some certificates to give out. And I would like to say, when they're getting the certificate, I would like to say a couple of words about them, so that the other people who are actually wondering, how can I distribute books? I'm caught up with so many other things. So if you get some sample case studies of how people are doing, you can also try whatever suits your lifestyle. Okay? Hare Krishna. So I'd like to call first, the first devotee I would call is like Radhika Prasad Das. Just to tell about him, he's every time he sends me a message, he says, "Bro, I'm intoxicated. I'm getting intoxicated." So he's our leading book distributor from the congregation, and he's scratching his head. So he's really inspiration for all of us, and he distributes every Harina party that goes on Saturdays, and he's a real inspiration. Hari Bol. And the next one I like to...
Do I know this one?
And the next one I have to call out is Srivas Nitai Gauradas. So, Srivas Prabhu, what can you say? He's really been involved in book distribution, and he's a Upachakra leader. He has 4 Bhakti Vikshas under him, but still he finds time to actually come out and distribute books. Usually he doesn't come out with us, but he does it in his own way, in his own time, because time is a constraint for him. So thank you, Prabhu, for your wonderful service. Hari Bol. The next one I need to call is Veerabhadra and Chandadas. So he's going to come that way. So while he's there, he has 2 kids, and he works in close to Circular Quay. So he takes off to go and distribute books. And he also is, once I missed him out in sending a newsletter or like a communication. He said, "Prabhu, I'm not involved, but I'm really interested." So, but he's always been enthusiastic in distributing books. So we request Maharaj to give him special blessings, so that his sons he's training will actually be more involved in books as well. Hari Hari Bol. The next one I want to call about is Braja Vinota Devidasi. So she's my wife. And the reason I say is always husbands want to be the first, the male ego. But in my house, she's the topmost book distributor. I try to beat her every time I go next time. So, but I never do it. So the next one I want to call about is Brindavan Venkatesh Das. So Prabhu, he's recently got initiated, and he's a very shy personality. You never have talked to him, but he just took up the mode of book distribution. But he doesn't come out, but he's just trying to make this whole office Krishna consciousness. So all the books have gone in his office. So Hari Hari Bol. The next one I would to call out is Bhakta Nash. Nash Prabhu. Hari Hari Bol. So what he does is like every once a month he gets a box of Bhagavad Gita softbound, and then I don't know whether he keeps up his deadlines and work, but his deadline for every month is distribute the whole book, and he does it after us every Friday. So please continue your service. Hare Krishna. So I think I don't see Sunil Chaudhary Prabhu, but yeah. So next one is Bhaktin Geeta Mataji. I don't see her, but I would like Mataji. Matra Mataji to come and get on behalf of her, because she is a Bhakti Viksha leader. And just to say that, I went to Bhakti Viksha group for them, and basically she was the person who was asking questions a lot. I was thinking whether she would distribute books or not. She has 3 kids, and I come on it's on Saturday evening around, so the Bhakti Viksha finished at 9 o'clock, and on Sunday morning I got a message saying that Mataji distributed 3 books. I don't know how she did it, and she continued to distribute for. I think she's in around 30-35 books she's already distributed with 3 kids. So, though she's not here, our blessings and prayers go to her for our continuous service. So the next one I would like to call is Jasmine Mataji. Is she here? No, I don't see her. Okay. So the next one is Krishna Priya Devidasi, and she is our door-to-door book distributor. So she has 2 kids, and the elder one she has to spend a lot of time. She's just gone to selective school. So she has to spend a lot of time for education. But every Saturday, around the neighborhood, she spends 2 hours to go door to door. And I'll tell you a small example. She went to talk to a door of a Muslim guy, and they said, "Oh, we're not interested in all these Hindu books." You know what she said? She said, "This is not about any religion. This is all about God, and we all want to know how to become close to God." So it's very nice, and they took it. So we have a lot of potential in our congregation. So it's all about tapping it. And then the next one I want to call about is Lohovan Mataji. I think she's busy cooking. So Mataji, can you get it on behalf? Lohovan Mataji used to work as a receptionist in Radha Gopinath. So every person who walks in the temple for afternoon aarti, she catches all of them. So she distributed a lot of books, and she's close to distributing a 50 for the year. So Hari Bol to her. And the next person is Radha Vinod Das, and we are very fortunate to have him. He recently came to Australia, and he's been my companion through all my drives to different places, and it's really encouraging to inspire him to talk to him, because all the butterflies his stomach goes out when you talk to him. And thank you, Prabhu. He's almost close to 50, and just in the morning I was talking, he said, "So you're going to finish 50 soon?" "Yeah, but I want to do my 100 before the end of the year." So, do I see Shailendra Nath Prabhu here? Nath Prabhu, I don't see. There are a couple of people who are not here, but I just read out the names just to know. So we who are not here: Abhinandini Mali Devidasi, and Jasmine Mataji, Sarvatita Prabhu, and another devotee Sai Prabhu from Sarvatita Prabhu's Bhakti Viksha group, and Sarvatita Prabhu as well. So they've all been very instrumental. And last, it's me, Nityananda Pramdas. I need to get the blessings as well. So, if you want to engage in distributing books, you can talk to me or any of the people whom you met, whom you introduced. So it's different ways of doing it. So we'd like you to take up this opportunity in whatever way you can. So thank you for all attending. Hare Krishna, and I'll hand over the mic to Dhirleta Prabhu.